I mean, who is excited to that's today will be our final class. Eh? All right, good evening, everyone. How are we doing? The gift deligwe, Duncan, Precious. How we dey? Hope we are good.
We are good, but we're not fine.
Why are you not fine? Why are you not fine? What happened? Don't worry, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So we have a lot to cover today, and from our last class, we completed what was left as regarding the project controller, and we delved into the authentication part. So we didn't do much about authentication. I just laid the foundation. So what we're doing today is we'll try and cover up the authentication and authorization, right? Because these are two important concepts that you would need to know and apply in your stage 7 tax and also in your capstone project. So you just have to pay attention, and I hope I can cover everything today without too much questions. All right, so let's go into the code. Can you see my code now?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry. Hello, someone is saying something. Okay, let's proceed. So let's go into the auth controller. This is where we are, the auth controller. Currently, why is this thing is behaving? Right. Okay. All right, so these are auth controllers. So what we'll be doing today is we are going to write a code that shows what we talked about in our previous class. Okay. Hope I can be heard.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Okay, so as usual, when creating the register endpoint, since you are kind of persisting to the database or saving to the database on registration, we make use of the HTTP post. And we need to create the route to it. So we can just name this register. And then next is the method public async tax of action results, then the name of you can use sign up, you can use register as the name of your method. Yeah, it's all fine. Then um, the now I'm going to introduce us to DTO. The reason why I would not use the user object here is because it comes with a lot of properties that we don't need. We just need the basic properties, which could be the first name, right? First name, last name, email, account type, gender, and that's all. That's all we need, right? And password hash. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a DTO class. We're going to create a DTO class having all those properties that we will need, and I'll show us how to do that. I would create the DTO class in my controller because of time. And okay, let me just follow best practice now so that people will not criticize me. So what I can do is in my domain, right? That is where I'm going to, I can decide to have, no, not in my domain, in my, yeah, in my core, I can decide to have a folder inside called DTOs, right? I can decide to have DTO. So it is going to have all the DTO classes that I would need. The first one is to create a user registration DTO, okay? I can name this. Let's put everything here. This. Let's put everything in domain. Let's put everything there. All right. DTOs. So inside these DTOs, the first one will be we are going to call it the user registration DTO that I will use. User registration DTO. So this is what I would use. So I have this. I'm going to split it into two. So I'm going to this other part. I will show our user class, so we all follow along and know which properties will be in the DTO and why. All right. So I have this here. Hope I can still be heard.
Yes, I can hear.
All right. Thank you. So we have the public. Then what I would do is take all of this here, then remove the ones that are not relevant. So I take all of this here and we start with ID when registering or when creating a user or registering a user. We don't use ID in the body. So we have to remove that because the ID will be generated by the database. Hope we are following, right? Hello? All right. Hope we are following. That's fine. Then we need the email. Okay. We need the password hash. Okay. We don't need confirm password. We don't need confirm password for now. So we can skip that. We don't need confirm password. We can remove that. We need first name. We need last name registration. We need the account type. And we need user status and what else again? User status and the gender. I hope no one is confused though. We don't need this user status. We can remove this because by default, when you register a user, by default, it's going to be active and registering. So we do not need that. So these are the 5 properties we need when registering a user. Is that clear? Hello? I hope it's clear. Or is someone confused? Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead to add that in our authentication part. I'm going to bring this here so we follow along. So this is my register endpoint. So I'm going to call in so instead of calling the user, I will call in the DTO user, which is the user registration DTO. Then to import it here and user DTO. Someone dropped a message, zoom in. Okay. Can you see my screen? Do I need to zoom in again? Is it clear? It's clear, right? Okay, I hope it's clear. All right, so let's continue. So first thing first, from our condition, implement the register endpoint, which is what we have done. Validate the input. Like it's more like making use of the model state, okay? So if the model is not valid, that's the model state dot is valid, what should happen? Return bad request of the model states, return this. Okay, so if it is valid, we go to the next one, which is check if the email already exists in the database, which is what we want to do. So how we're going to do that is, first of all, we can just create a variable that will do the check var user var user exists, right? Okay. Var is user exists equal to await, then we call in the DB, what do we call it? What did we name our DB? Okay, context rather. Our context dot users dot we can make use of any determines whether a sequence contains any elements. We can make use of this. So I'm going to introduce you to another. I want us to get used to the lambda expressions, right? Okay. So any async, what this would do is it's going to gain access to the properties of the user. And after you've gained access into the properties of the user, the next question you'll be asked is, what property do you want to use to compare if a user exists? Is it the password hash or the first name or the last name or the account type or gender? So if I should ask among all these properties here, which is unique, which is a unique property? Hello?
Email, sir.
All right, email is unique. So I'm going to make use of unique, and how I'm going to do that is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to say this is lambda. Like I said in our previous class, lambda is a way of gaining access to the different properties. So I can say email. Email is a variable name that I want to use to compare if the email in the database is equal to the one that is being submitted here. That's what I want to do here now. So email where the email dot, this is the one from the DB, okay? Where this is equal to user detail dot email, right? So let me explain this. What this is doing is this any async, this expression em equal greater than em dot email equal to this. This is trying to check if this em dot email, this is the one from the main user that is stored in the DB, while this one is the one coming from the front end. Are we following? Hello?
I didn't
Hello?
get.
That's our comment.
You said what? Hello?
We are
Can we say we
following.
are
Okay, okay. So I'm going to say it over again. Like I said, any async, and whenever we see this expression, it's a way to explain that it's a way of gaining access to the different properties of what is in this DB set, right? So the different properties of the DB set in this user is what? The email, the password hash, the first name, last name, and account name and gender, right? Now, I want to check if the email, this is what I want to do, check if the DB email is equal to the front end email. This is what I'm trying to do here. That's the need for, that's to write this in code is like saying em.email, this is from the DB, is equal to this, right? And this any async is returning a Boolean, which is either true or false. So if this is equal to this, the question is, does this user exist? What is it going to return? If this is equal to this, what will be the return data type? What is going to be the return value? Is it true or false? Hmm?
true?
is going to be true, right? Meaning this email is equal to this. And since it is true, the next question is, does that user exist?
Yeah.
It exists, right? Right?
Yes.
Great. So that's what we are trying to do now. So this is returning a Boolean true or false, and that value is assigned to this variable is user exists. That's what we did here. And that is just exactly what we are doing here to check if the email already exists in the database. Okay. Now, we'd use a condition, if condition, to say if is user exists. What's another word? What is another way of writing this? Is like saying if what? If is the Boolean, which is true or false, right? Hope you are following.
Yes.
Great. So if is user exists, which could be either true or false, what should happen? If it is true, what should happen? Should I return a success or a bad request?
If it's true, you return a success.
You are still confused. Okay. If this user exists in the database, it is true. So does that mean I need to return a success saying we should go ahead to register this user, knowing fully well that another user is having that same email? Eh? Hello?
No.
So if its user exists is like saying if this is true, meaning if this user exists, what should happen?
You should return a bad request.
Yeah, return a bad request. Then you can write the message you want it to return. You can say email is already in use, is already in use. Then if the user does not exist, we go ahead to execute this code. And this has to do with registering the user. So how we do that is we are going to create the user object equal to new user. Then we are going to pass in the various properties, assign the value from the front end to the one in the backend to store, right? And how do we do that? Oh God, this user controller is supposed to be user, not user controller. All right. So we need to import that. Okay. So first thing first, we are going to call the email, which is this email that we want to store in the DB. So email is the same way. If you remember how we did update, that's the same way we want to do here. So email equal to user DTO dot what? First name, comma. Is someone confused? Eh? Is anyone confused?
No.
So I thought it should be user.dto.email.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to correct me now. Everybody said this. Yeah, it's nobody's confused. No one asks why I even used first name. All right. So next one is what? First name equal to user DTO dot first name, right? Then last name equal to user DTO dot last name. Then account type is equal to user DTO dot account type, and um, we can just assign this as user status equal to, by default, it's going to be what? User status dot active. So there are two ways to this. The first way is when creating any user that is being created, every user that's registered by default, we want to assign the user status to active. So we either do it this way or we do it this way. It works both way. We do it this way. Equal to what? Who can tell me? What should be here? Hmm?
So
I know
will
I
be equal
mentioned
to
it.
account type dot active.
Exactly. Account type dot active. So both ways works, okay? You do it there or you do it here. It's still fine. Then now we want to, what's one thing we are missing out?
So the password hashing.
Okay, and gender, right? Equal user dto dot gender and password hash now. Now we are going to make use of this is a password hash, but what we want to do is we are going to call in this. We want to call in this and assign it here automatically. So let's check if we have installed this library. Let's check if you have installed the library. Okay, we have installed it here. All right, so let's go ahead and call it. So the password hash now, we are going to call the class bcrypt, right? Dot net dot bcrypt. We are trying to gain access to the function, and how do we gain access to this function is by calling the bcrypt.net, which is the namespace of the library that we installed. Okay, bcrypt dot. It comes with different methods. We have the enhance hash, enhance verify, equal, generate hash, and all. And what we want to use is what? The hash password, and which is taking in a string of input key, meaning we need to put in here the password that needs to be hashed, which will be what? Who can tell me? What argument will be there?
User dto dot password.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks. All right, so I guess we're not missing out anything. So after creating the user and all, what's the next thing to do? We need to add it to the DB set, okay? Context dot users dot add. Need to add it here. Okay. Then after adding it, what's the final thing? Hmm? After adding to DB set, what do we do next?
Save.
Save changes.
All right. Wait. Context dot save changes async and then return. Right, return okay. And in here we can just return the message. I know I made mention to this in the last week. Can say user registered fully. All right, user registered fully successfully. Then if I want to still add maybe the user ID in this JSON, I can just say the user ID of this user could be the new user dot ID, and we are good to go. Right. Yeah, ID. Yep, we are good to go with that. So this everything about the register endpoint. Is anyone confused?
So I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
So the Bicrypt, did you install it when we were installing the
I
ETL
did that.
framework?
Yes, in our last class, I think I did that. Did I?
So, but I watched the video. I did not see when
Okay,
you
okay. Let me
installed.
show you how to do that. Sorry. Most of this thing comes when you install the project, right? It comes with it, but I'll show you how to do that anyways. Manage Nugget package. You come here. You can check the name bcrypt.net. So you come to the Nugget package and just type in the it's loading. Bcrypt. This is it here. Bcrypt.net, which is this bcrypt.net dash next. There are other packages, but this is what I usually use when hashing a user's password. Okay. This X you see here is saying it has been installed already. But if you want to uninstall it, you click it to uninstall. That's the meaning for this X. All
So
right.
this one now we are installing it in the domain
Yes.
project.
In this API.
Oh, sorry, API. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Is it there? The controller now, we are in the controller, yes. So it should be here. The dependency here. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Precious. That's understood now.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
All right. So how do we do it? Should we prepare all the endpoint, then test it, or I do one, I test it, then I implement the other one? Which should we do? Hmm?
Implement and test.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's check it. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here. A breakpoint there. Okay, you guys will not see this. Let me make this visible. All right. Okay. All right. Can you see this?
Yes.
All right, great. So currently let's check the users we have in our DB. Then this one is to duplicate if we have it's loading. My system is slow, that's why. Ooh, why is this thing taking time? Sorry, guys. Permission why my system is slow. Not supposed to take this time. Just hold on, it's going to register. No, it's taking time. Okay, it's saying network, whatever. Connection timeout. So we try it again. So this the users we have in our DB. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 users basically in our DB. So we want to register the fourth one. So assuming Gift wants to register, we're going to use Gift at gmail.com. So now there is a mix. Okay, yeah, password hash. So password could be and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then first name and the gift, account type, user. So like I told you, there are two kinds of user in this application. We have the user and the admin. So what we're going to do is we'll register two users. One will be the user and the other one will be the admin. Okay. So user, then female, female. All right. So I'm going to, now you notice with the user detail, you can't see the other properties in here because these are the ones we have in our user detail, which is this, this is what we have here. And that's what we have there. So I'm going to create
Yes.
this. Great. So it comes here and validates, it checks which is going to pass. Now it's checking if that user exists in the DB. So it falls, meaning it doesn't exist. So therefore, this will not execute. So it skips that and comes here to create the user with the values from the front end. So by doing that, if I hover on it, I would now have the values, which is this user, this password hash is this. Who can tell me why confirm password is not?
We didn't pass it.
Okay, yeah,
It's not
we
part of
didn't
the
pass the
system.
value. Yes, we didn't pass the value. Thanks. So we're going to add it to the DB set and save it. Then we return the message. We are returning this message and we are also returning the user ID of this new user. That's what we want to do. And by doing that, this is what we get. User registered successfully, user ID 2002. So this ID is the ID of this user. What happens if I create again with this same email? What do you think is going to happen? I'm already doing that task I didn't want to do, Sha. Okay. So let's see. It checks. What are we seeing here? True. The last one was false. This one is true. And the gifts. Why are we having true for this one? No, no, no. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Because
Don't answer. I've been calling you plenty times. Marian Uba.
he answer now. Is it not?
No, 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 no. Marian Uba.
Yes, sir, because you have already created a user in the kit.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah. The gift you want to show yourself, man.
No, now you called me.
Sorry, it's fine. All right, return bad request, email already in use. So this is what we get in the front end, which is this, right? Okay, so that's it for register endpoint, which is working fine. So the next one is login, which is technical in a way, but I'll try and make it very simple. So I would close this. All right. Hey, I was supposed to create a user for admin. I'll do that when I'm testing. Don't worry. So implementation for login endpoint, that's what we want to do now. All right. Okay. So let's do that now. First, it's going to be HTTP host, then the route, which is going to be login, then the method, public, async, tax, action result, then login. Now we'll create another DTO because when you hear login, what comes to your mind is what? Hmm? Hello? What are the properties when you want
To
to log in?
sign in,
Yeah. what are the properties when you want to
The email
sign?
and password.
Great. So the reason why I can't use user DTO for this is because we are having all these properties. So what do you think I would do? I would create another DTO, call it login DTO, that would have what? Now it's going to have what and what?
Email and password.
All right, thank you. So let's come here and create a login DTO. All right, login DTO. All right, so the login DTO is going to have email and password. Right, this is what we want to do there. Great, so email and password. Email and password. Right. Equals to default. All right, the default. So that's the login DTO. So yeah, I'm going to call in that login DTO, then login request. This is coming from the front end. So it is a request basically. Okay. So what did I say? First thing is check if the email and password are provided, which we want to do. So let me show us another way, right? If you do not want to go through this route of the if model state and attaching, always adding your attributes here, another way to go is by making use of we have a keyword or a string method called is null or empty. So how do we make use of that? So if string dot is null or empty. So I'm going to write everything out. So this is saying if this is empty, if you are sending an empty email to the backend, this is the meaning of this statement, right? The email is a string. The data type of the email is a string. So this string is a data type that has methods to use for manipulation and all. And one of the methods for this string data type is null or empty. And what this does is it checks if the argument here is empty. If it is empty, it is true. So what happens when it is true? Okay. Hope we are following. Hello? Are we following?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are with you.
Okay. So if this is true, or I want to check for the password as well. Okay, okay. Do for the password. Pass. If this is true or this is true, yeah, if one of them is true, then what should happen? What should happen? I'm going to return a bad request saying email password are required. Okay. Then what if they are coming with value? Then we skip this and go to the next, which is what? Check if the user exists in the DB. That's what we want to do now, right? So I'll create a variable called I can say right, if this user exists, okay. Okay, I can make use of this. I can still make use of this. Yep, I can make use of this. Yeah, I can make use of this. So this is going to be login request. It's going to be login request. Hope we are following. Hello?
Yes, we
I
are
want to
with
check
you.
if this user
Yes.
exists.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
if this
following.
user exists. Okay, fine. Then, all right. If user doesn't exist, if this user doesn't exist, what should happen? If the user doesn't exist, what should happen? Return what? Um, there's another return value called unauthorized for when you are trying to log in, but you are not authorized to log in because you don't exist in the DB. So that's the meaning of this, which is a 401 response, that status response. So this could be invalid email or password, invalid email or password. Okay, hope we are following.
Yes.
Great. Next is to check what if the password that was submitted by the user, does it tally with the one in the DB? Hope we are following.
Yes.
Great. So that's what we want to do now. And to do this, we can actually create a private method. I want to also show us how to be creating a private method instead of always doing everything here. What I would do now is I'm going to create a private method for the verifying of a person's password. Yeah. So how do we do that? I can say private. When a method is private, what does that mean? Hmm?
It means that it cannot access outside the class,
All right, thank
outside
you.
that class.
Yeah, sure. So I want this method to return a bool, and the name of the method is verify password. All right. So it's taking what? It's going to take two things. It's going to take the user's password, and it's going to take the one in the database that we use for comparing. Stored hash. We can name it stored hash. Okay. So first we are going to validate to make sure they are valid, right? We want to do this. Where is that place? We want to make sure we are not returning we are not returning an empty string. Okay, that's what we want to do. So I can say if string dot is null or empty, password or string dot is null or empty, stored hash, what should happen? Return false. Return false. But if it's not null, or if the password is not null and the stored hash is not null, let it return this. So we can say, let's create a variable called this would get the this is going to get is password valid equal to decrypt. So there is another method that would verify the user's password in the DB. That's what we want to gain access to. So .net dot decrypt dot I think it's verify. Yeah, verify. So verifies that the hash of the given text matches the provided hash. So this does that. What do we need to verify? It takes two things. It takes the user's password and the hash, the one in the DB. So it's going to be password and the stored hash. That's what we are trying to do. Then after doing this, we'll return his password. His password valid. That's all. Which could be true or false. If we check here now, this is returning a boolean. It's returning a boolean, which is true or false. This is the verify. It's returning a boolean, true or false. So if this, right? If this password is different from the one in the DB, what do you think will be the value for this variable?
Invalid email password.
First thing first, what's the return type of this method? What's the
Boolean.
return value?
False.
Boolean. Great. False or true. The
Yes.
question is, if the password here is not the same in the DB, what will be the final value for its password hash? Is it true or false?
It's false.
False, right? Then if it is valid,
Yes.
it's going to be true. Great.
Yes.
All right, thanks. So this is our private method that we have created. Now I want to call it yeah. So I can say if what? If verify password. If verify password. All right. So if verify password is true, and what are we passing in? We are going to pass in the we're going to pass in what we're going to pass in something we're missing now because we want to pass in the login request password, which is this login request dot password hash, and we want to pass in what do we want to pass in? Hmm?
Password.
Hmm?
User.
The user's
User
password.
log. Yes.
So which is this? So let's use this and see there's something that is going to happen. So we want to gain, this is actually gaining access to the DB. You get, because we are calling the DB set, right?
Yes.
But there is an issue which I want to show us now. I want to gain access to the user's password. So what happens if I do this is user access dot password. I want to gain access to the user's password in the DB. But you notice something now. Is user exists now. Whenever I use any async, what any async does is it's going to return what? True or false. Do you get?
Yes.
But what we are trying to do is we don't want it to only return true or false. We also want it to return the whole user object, the whole user information, so that we can gain access to the password and use this for comparison. Do we all get the issue now? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Great. So any async now, someone might want to ask, or if I see in your code, why are you using any async in your code? What you would say is because I'm interested in just the Boolean. Is it true or false? But when I'm interested in not the true or false, I'm interested in what? The object. I want to get the object for that user. I no longer use any async. There is another method that is provided by DB context that would return the user object, which is going to help us gain access to the password in the DB. Hope we are following. Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can always rewatch a video after now. I know it might be confusing at first, but just try and rewatch it again. So let's do this now. I'm going to rewrite this. var user equal to await context dot users dot there's what we call first or default async if you check this now, first or default async, what this does is it returns the first element of a sequence or a default value if the sequence contains no element. So what this does is, to explain what it's saying it's going to return the object. Let me bring out my sticky note to explain that so we don't get confused. You notice I'm rushing. Sorry about that, because I'm trying to cover up everything about login, register, so that you can use that you can apply that in your tax. That's why. Okay. Can you see my sticky note?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, two things. There are two sets of values. We have the Boolean, which returns what? True, false. We also have the object, which will return the user object, the object of a model, which is in this form, which will be maybe to return everything about that object, which is the name, the password, the email, the what again, the gender, and so on. Right? Now, the reason why I would not, and what is this any async is the one that is returning this value. Any async. This is the one that is returning true or false. But what I'm interested in is I want to compare this one that is coming, this login request password that's coming from the front end, and the one in the DB. Do you get? So I can't use this, because if I use this now, it's not gaining me access to the other properties, like the password, the email, and all. Are we following?
Yes.
Great. That is why I don't need to use this. I'll use the one that will give me access to the DB, which is what? First or default async. And how does this work? With this first or default async, how does this work? It's just pretty straightforward with how we usually use the lambda expression. So with this now, I want to compare now EM. It's the same way we did previously with this any async. So em dot email equal to login request dot email, right? This is what we want to do. Same flow. Like the difference between this and this is this one is returning true or false. Why this one is going to return the object that will contain all the properties that will help us to gain access to the password for comparing and verifying. Okay? Hope we are good. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use that. I would use this one. This is the one I would use. But the issue with this is this is a Boolean, and Boolean, this was a Boolean, right? And I can no longer use this. Let me show you something now. Sorry about the noise. When you're using Boolean, right? Whenever you're using a Boolean variable, like saying var results equals to Boolean. When you're using a Boolean, it's okay to do like this. If result, because this is like saying if true or false, right? Hope you are good. Hello?
Yes.
Great. But if we have a variable that is equal to an object, maybe user equal to that is has the result of an object, we can't do this because this is not a Boolean. So what we do if we want to compare is if this user is equal to null. So what's this? What's the meaning of this statement? You can tell me.
If the user doesn't exist,
Thank you. Which is the same thing as saying if results is false, right?
yes.
So we use this when the value of the variable is returning the object. All right, sorry about the noise. Then when is the value, when is the object, is now going to be if user equal to null. We use that, okay?
Yes.
All right, hope it's not confusing. All right, let's,
No,
okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, two now actually because I've been raising my hand since.
Yeah, no, you folks, just, I'm not seeing your hands, sorry.
So, okay, the first question is about the register user and create new user. So if since we have register user
Mm,
endpoint, is there like a need for having a create user
great.
endpoint again?
Yeah, very good question. So register is for all users. We all know that, like both the admin and the user. The account type now can, if you're an admin, you can register and sign up. If you're a normal user, you can register and sign up. Now, create user, that endpoint is executed by only the admin. For
Okay.
example, in a company or in a firm that has employees and all, how it operates, how it works is that whenever you're employed in a company, meaning you will be given an account. An account will be created for the employee to use for that company. That account that is created by the admin of the company. So that endpoint is not called by the normal user. It's only executed by the admin because it's the admin that will create the employee, that will create an account for the employee. So what you do is that you create an account. Let's assume you are employed in my company. I am the admin. All I'm doing is I'm going to create an account for you. So I will give you an email to use. I will also create a password for you to use. So which will enable you to log in and change your password. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the flow. The create user
Okay.
is for the admin. Yeah.
Then second question is this: if user equal to null, is it possible we can use like if not user alone?
Yeah, it's variable name. Yes. Like which one?
Like if not user, the exclamation, then user.
You mean yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This
Yeah. It's not
only
workable.
this is not going to work because it's not returning a boolean. It's returning an object, and for every object we use null. Like we can say this if user equal to null or not equal to null.
Mm.
You
Okay.
get?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we need to use the user, which we are using it to kill two birds. Yeah, which is checking if it exists. And also with this now, I can have access to the properties user dot. This is it. Hope we can see it now. In case you are asked why you used first or default and why you used any async, right? Hello?
I
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. So it's password we want to use. So we are going to do this, which is this we would use. Okay. All right. So we have
Remove
this.
the exclamation on
Yeah, I
line
can
82.
do this to by that and what else? What else? What else? What else?
Line 82.
Line 82 where?
The exclamation.
Okay, yes, 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 that's true. So if this is no, thank you. All right. Okay. Why are we having this here? Okay, okay, I've not put this is an if statement here. Sure. So if this is this, what should happen? If this is true, then go ahead and return success. But that's not what we need. We want to still go further to execute some other logic like next one is creating the token, generating the token, and returning the message. So this can be if is false. Do we get that? Like I want to just do everything. I just want to return all the bad requests first. Then after doing that, I now go ahead to return all the logic for the valid response. That's what I'm basically doing. That's why if you see here, this is checking for null first, return. This is checking for null again, it returns. This is also checking for false, so it returns all the bad unauthorized response. Are we following?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to return what? I will still use this message, which is saying invalid email or password. Yeah. So this is likened to that the what I told you about in the last class. If the password is wrong, still return invalid email or password. If the email is wrong, still return invalid email or password. This is what we are doing here. Okay?
All right.
Yep. Now, next one is what? We need to create the token. Just pay attention. It's very important. We need to create the token. It's not complex. So just pay attention to this. So how do we create the token now? We can say var, we will create a private method for creating the token, okay? Var token equal to, I can just say generate. This is another way to create methods. There are two ways to it. You either type in the method you want to implement, JWT token. Then you are passing in the user object which you would use. Then you just control dot. You see this option, generate method. It's going to generate it here for you. Or you don't want to go through that route. You want to first of all, create it first and call it here. I don't know if that's confusing, right?
Yes.
Don't worry. Okay, that's fine. No worry. Let's go. Let's use this way. That's advanced anyways. So var token equal to, we want to create what? A private method that will do what? That will generate the token. That's what we want to do. You never start, Abby? Okay. So that will generate the token. So how do we do that? First is we'll create the method, right? Private string token. Every token is a string. Data type of every token is a string. It's a string data type. Okay, that's why we are returning the string. Generate JWT token. Then what do we want to use? Which object is attached to that token? Is the user object. We want to create a token and assign that token to a particular user. That's why we want to make use of the user object, which is this. Okay, so I'm going to write out the flow and the steps. So just pay attention. It's very, very straightforward. Just pay attention. The steps, how we are going to do it. Now, someone might want to ask, how is it possible for the token to recognize a particular user? Like maybe a user login and the token knows that the token that is generated is for that particular user. Like, how does it work? Like, how does it work? So that's what we want to do now. So there's what we call claims. Has anyone heard of claim before? Claim in C# or in JWT token entirely. Claim. Has anyone come across that before?
So is it clean architecture?
Claim, CLAIM. Claim,
Okay, it's a claim.
CLAIM. Claim. So basically, this claim,
Claim.
what it
No.
does is, now I'm creating a token. So before I create the token,
Okay, claim.
yeah, I want to assign the information. I want to assign some information within that token. I want to assign some information inside that token so that in case you want to retrieve the token, you will not only retrieve the token, you also retrieve the token with those information that comes with the token. So I want to define and initialize those claims that will come when you create the token. Hope we are following.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's what we want to do now. So just try and pay attention. Hold on first, I'm coming. All right, so let's continue. So how do we do that? First, we create a variable. Mind you, this flow, like this claims, you can use it in any kind of project. Yeah. So you get it here. You can just, the beauty thing, the one thing why I love backend a lot is one advantage of backend with over front end is for every project you create, for every project you embark on, there's one thing that is always very unique, like you must see it, and that is authentication, right? So how I do it is once I implement authentication in a particular project, right? And I'm working on a new project, I don't need to waste my time trying to re-implement the whole authentication stuff. All I just do is what? Plug it out, just copy everything and paste it in that new project. Do you get it?
Yes.
Great. But with front end now, the thing with front end is that front end now, for every project you do, it comes with a new design. So you still have to redesign the page. And if a new project comes, you still need to redesign again that new page. Do you get it now? So there are
Yes.
some advantage over backend and front. Why you want to do backend? Why do you want to do front end? Me, I just love that flow with backend because all this you see, all this implementation, once you do it once, if you are given a project to do, so far as you understand the implementation, just you don't need to waste your time trying to write the code again. Just copy everything and paste in that new project and do some changes. Yeah, there might be the property here that you might not need in the other project. You can just remove it and update it. So that's the beauty with backend. Okay. So
Yes.
we have to create the claims and we give it the claims now. This will be having multiple claims. So we need to create an array that would hold the different claims. And what we are going to do is, the first one is, there's what we call the name identifier claim type dot name identifier. You want to attach an ID to that name identifier. That's what we want to do. We also want to attach the email that comes with this claim to the user email, right? So let me write it here before I proceed. First is what? Attach the ID, the user ID to the name identifier in the claim, right? Second one is I just hope I can finish everything now. Second one is the attach the email, the user email to the claim email, right? Then the third one is you can say you want to attach the name, right? The user, maybe first name to the claim name, right? So there are others, even the row self, claim type, there's a row in the claims as well. You can leave it as 2. You can leave it as 3. You can leave it, if you want to add multiple claims, this is how you go about it. Then there's another property in the claim called the given name. We have the given name. So you want to assign what? Maybe the user first name and last name to the given name in the claim. You can do that. You can also assign the role. Yeah, so the role has to do with the account type, which is the admin or user. So you can say the user account type to the role in the claim. So we are going to do this 5. We are going to assign this 5 basically. You can do multiple, even if you want to do the status. So another question is, why am I attaching this to the token? Is because when you're fetching a user, you are fetching the current user. You're fetching the current user. What comes along fetching the current user is what? All this information. The ID, the email, the first name, maybe the given name, the account type, and all, which you want to use in your implementation. So assuming you want to use you're fetching the current user and you want to use the user status, right? The user status. All you just need to do is include that in these claims and it's going to come along with the user status. Are we following? Hello?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We can always rewatch the video, okay? And when you rewatch it and you still don't understand, then you can drop question on the channel. All right? Okay. So it's okay if you don't get the flow now. Me, it took me over 2 months, in fact, I went like 5 months before I was able to understand this authentication flow. Like, took me 5 months. So yeah, so it's okay if you might not get it now. It takes time, just practice. I know. And all right. So let's add the first claim. And how do we add the first claim? We do it this way. New claim. Then we have the claim type. They've taken light. We have the claim types dot. It comes with different properties. See now, if you see these claim types now, we have so many properties in these claim types. We have the country. If you want to assign the user, the country of the user to this claim type user, this is what you call the date of birth. It comes with so many properties. the DNS, DSA, email, expiration, gender. There's gender also. There's given name. There is so many. There's mobile phone in this claim name. So maybe in your app, you have a mobile phone, a phone number in your app. You want to assign that phone number to the claims for the mobile phone. You can do that. Hope you are following.
Yes.
All right. The meeting, has it joined there? Okay. All right. So what we want to do now is, all right, hold on, guys. Send me the email now. Make I. All right, let's continue. So we want to assign the word identifier. So there's what we call the name identifier, which is the name identifier. We want to assign this to this, to the user, user dot, um, user dot. We can't use a string. The name identifier is, Henry, have you sent it? Okay. Guys, give me 1 minute. Let me join this meeting first. I'm coming. Uh, okay, let's continue. It's loading. So name identifier now, if you check, name identifier is a string and our user what is an ID. So we can't use this name identifier for an ID. If you check now, this name identifier is a string, which is a string. But what we have is the ID, which is an int. But there's a way to go about it. There's a way to convert an int to a string in order for us to use attach the ID, attach the user ID to the identifier. And how do we do that? How are we going to do that? So it's straightforward, right? So claim types dot name identifier, to attach it to user dot ID, user dot ID dot to strings. So this is how we do that for here. So by doing this now, it has converted this ID, which is a number, to a string, which looks like this. If a number is 1 now, converting this to a string would look like this. 1. Are we following?
Yes.
Great. So that's for that. Next one is the email, right? So new claim. Next one is the email. Claim types. Sorry guys, let me try and join this meeting. Coming. Hmm? Okay. I can't join this meeting. When is it ending? 6:30. I won't be able to join this meeting because I'm in another meeting. Guys, hold on, I'm coming now. All right. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Sorry about the distraction. Sorry about that. So claim type, I want to assign the email. So claim type dot email is user dot email. You can do others if you want to do. Let's just finish everything. Okay. So let's do this. Third one is what's the name? Name. I can just assign this, maybe the first name, right? Then second one is the given name, which is the what we want to do. So given name, like all this in case you want to retrieve the current user, and that will come with all this information. That's the usefulness of what we are doing here. We are setting them up. In case you are fetching current user, it comes with all this information. It's a different ball game with them for those that are into Node.js. They do that differently. So in C#, this is how we do ours. So with this, I can say, I can bring them into to giving name. I can use the last name, right? I can use the last name. What if I want to concatenate two of them, maybe the first name and last name? Can we do that here? Is it possible to do it?
No.
Hmm?
No.
It's possible to do it. I'll leave it to you guys to go and figure it out. It's possible to do it. Deligwe, is it possible to do it? I want to concatenate first name and last name for this given name. Is it
Yes.
possible?
Yes.
Okay, now let me show you how to do that. It's very straightforward. So I can say
$sign.
exactly what's up. I can say this user dot first name, right? Then user dot last name. Straightforward. Abby? Okay,
Yes.
great. Now next one could be the row. Someone please mute your mic. All right, row. And the row is the account type, which is the account type, which is the account type, which is an enum. The row is a string. If you check now, the row is a string, but the account type is an account type, which is an enum. But I want to convert this to a string. So all I just do is to call the to string, and it does that for me. Then finally, if you want to attach the user status, you can go ahead to do that, but you can just end there for the claims. All right. And we end it. So that's all for setting up the different claims for the token. We are trying to set it up so that when you create the token, what comes inside that token is what? All these informations, the name, the email, the given name, the role, and or which you want to use in your application. Is that understood? Hello?
Yes.
Great.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this claim types
Mm.
dot for row now,
Yeah.
like is it us that put it there?
No, it comes with the class. It comes with the C# class. Yeah.
What
Claim
if you want to
types.
add something that's not part of the
Except you do it, you either .NET, you can actually go to .NET and extend it and post yours. You get,
Okay.
yeah. But I think they have given us all we will need. Like, I don't think there will be any need to even add set because everything here is like it has a lot, like the properties that we would use. That's everything. Yeah. Okay, so we are done with the
I
claims.
have
Then,
question.
all right, go ahead.
So since you concatenate this name, is
Mm.
there any need of leaving the first name?
Is there any need of this one?
Yes.
Mm,
Since it's
Like I
already
said,
been.
yeah, like I said, it's your choice, it's the developer's choice. If you are interested in the first name, maybe you are retrieving the token and you want to use the first name in the implementation, you can do this. But if you want to use the full name instead, you can do this. Do you get?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thanks. So next one is the next one is the key. We want to create a key. So basically what we are doing, we are setting up some information that comes with this token that would make that authentication very strong and secured. It comes with different information. It comes with the claims, it comes with the key, and it comes with the credentials. It's what we call credentials. Maybe after now you can check up JWT token. You would realize that all I'm saying is like it's not a new thing. Okay, so the claims, the keys, and the credentials. That's what we are trying to set up. So the next one is we want to set
So
up the
please
key.
list it.
All right. Okay. The claim, this is the first one, which is the claim. The second one is the key. It comes with the claim, the key, and the credential, right? Keys, credential. Now we want to create the key for this. We want to create the key for our token. And to do that, our key equal to, we'll make use of symmetric security key. Like there's a class called symmetric security key that helps us to generate the keys for our tokens. Yeah, that's what we want to do now. New symmetric, is it symmetric? Okay. SY, is it? Okay, symmetric security key. Symmetric security key represents a symmetric security key. So that's what I want to do. And open your bracket. So it takes in the key that would be used to generate that particular key. That's what we want to do. I just hope I can finish everything today. So that key now is very, very sensitive. This key now, if someone has access to this key, the person can control your application. The person can actually create, maybe if there are 5 users in your application, they gift, Precious, Deligwe, let's say assuming there are 3 users. If someone has access to this key, of course, you would not want to expose that key in this your UI like this, right? If someone has access to that key, the person can use that key to log in as their gift. The person can also use that key to log in as Deligwe or Precious. So that key is very, very important, and we don't put that here. So what we are going to do is we are going to store that key in our we'll keep it in our app settings, right? We are going to keep it in our app settings. That's where we are going to keep that key. We'll keep it there. Where is the app setting? Yeah. So we're going to create the key here and keep it here. Then access it in our application in the generate token function here. Instead of storing the key here, which is not safe at all. Hope we are following.
Yes.
Hello. All right. And when I finish up, everything will become clear. Okay. So symmetric security key. And once we have gotten the key, right? Okay, let me just set up the key first. Let's set up the key. All these are for login. If you want to log your information, then let's set up the key, which is a key value. It's a key value there. So we can say this key, right? Key is this. Our key could be, which is a string, which can be any key you decide to name, right? But it has to be very long so that someone cannot guess, right? It has to be very long. Maybe you can decide to make this your key. Yeah, you can decide to make this your key if you want it that way. Yeah, so someone cannot guess and that if someone has access to this key, the person can use this to log in to anyone's account. So it's very, very sensitive. This thing is not wrapping. Let me wrap. I think there is wrap.
So like how many number of characters?
Sorry? Any
For
number
the
of characters. Any number of characters.
okay.
Yeah. This thing is not wrapping. I don't know why it's not wrapping. Sorry, hold on. Word wrap. Okay. It's supposed to show my word wrap. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, let's continue. I don't know why this is not wrapping. This is wrapping. Okay, maybe because it's a JSON file, that's why. Okay, let's continue now. So this is my key that I would use. So I need to access this key, and how do I do that? Not only do I need to access it, I need to encode it. When retrieving it, I need to encode it so that someone might not see the real. I cannot just copy this whole stuff here. I need to copy it and also encode it. As someone who can tell me the difference between encode and decode? Have you heard of encoding and decoding? Hmm? No one have heard of encoding and decoding. That's
No,
serious.
sir.
Are you serious? A precious gift. Eh?
Encoding is like putting the actual text so that it won't display the actual text, but the coding is returning the
Making
code
it,
to the
yeah,
actual.
revealing it, yeah, bringing it the true value of that code, right?
I
Exactly.
don't get him.
Okay, encoding is, let's say I sent a message to you, and let's say you are nice, right? I'm sending you are nice to you. If I encode that you are nice, I'm hiding the real text of that you are nice. I'm replacing that you are nice with a text that nobody else would understand. Okay, so which could be blah 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 blah, that kind of so if it's coming to you and you want to read it, that is when it will be decoded to you. Do you get?
Yes.
Decoding is revealing the actual text of that message I was sent. So the reason for the encoding and decoding is for security purpose. So hackers might not see your actual message and try to use that to harm you and all. So yeah. You can always check that out anyways. How I did it when I began programming, all these new term, I just write them down. Then after class, I go online, Google, and check up, research on what it does. So maybe after now, you can always go and check it up. Yeah. So how do we use the encoding in C#? There is a class called encoding. Where is the encoding? There's a class called encoding. Encoding, I think. Yeah. There's a class called encoding. Encoding, which is a class. Yeah, it's part of the system.txt. Yes. So we are trying to get the encode that key, the JW key. That's what we want to do. And it's part of all these are codes you can use, right? So I always use UTF-8, get an encoding for the UTF-8 format. I can choose to use that, then get the byte of it. All right. And it's taking the chars, the values there. Now I want to gain access to this value here. Remember I told us about storing your DB configuration stuff in your app setting. So when you store it, how do you gain access to it? That's what we want to do now. So we have stored it, and I cannot just come here and just type in key. It won't work. that way, right? I have to call in from the beginning, we made mention of I configuration. So I configuration, what this does is it enables us to, it gains access, it allows us access to our app settings, right? So if I want to gain access to any of these key value pairs in any of these keys, I just call in the I configuration, right?
Yes.
All right. There's a whole lot I need to cover. I've not done authorization. So you guys will permit me to finish that today. Okay. All right. So I configuration, then pass in the particular key, which is in this case is what the key. So by doing this, it works fine. It works fine. Okay. So that's for that. We have actually created our key for our token. So this, you can plug it into anywhere, like any project. Yeah, it's the same flow. Once you get this flow, you can use it in any project. You know, is there any question before we go into credential? Like I would
So
say,
continue.
try and rewatch the video. Yes, then ask your question. Okay. Sorry, I'm rushing. I'm trying to finish up some things today. Then credentials, credentials. Now we want to um, create, we want to create a credential for our token, right? So that when the token is being retrieved, it comes with different information, the claims, the key, the credentials, which will be used in our JWT secret token. So that's what we want to do. And how do we do that? We create a variable, create equal to new, then signing credential. There's what we call signing credentials that would define the security key algorithm and all. All right. Am I missing out here? Am I missing out here? All right. Signing credentials. Then we'll pass in what? It's taking two things. It's taking the key, it's taking the key and the kind of algorithm for the credentials. So all this, like, one thing with authentication, the reason why login, like login comes with some extra logic and implementation is because authentication is very, 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 very sensitive. So you need to protect, like you need to add extra layers for that token so that no one can just hack your account and log in and do whatever they want to do, right? Hope you are following. Get. And the good thing is that you get this flow, any of your application, you just need to copy the same thing and plug it in. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just you don't need to waste your time trying to restructure or re-implement something you have done before. And that's waste your time, which isn't supposed to be so, okay?
Okay, sir.
So signing credentials, then it takes in the key, which was created in line 116, and also we need the algorithm that will be used to scramble um the key and the credentials, which there is a class that helps us with the algorithm characters, which is there are other algorithm classes, where the one I use is security algorithm. Okay, this will create the security algorithm anyways for your token. So that's what we want to pass in here. But you can read up all this, so you can read up all these terms, security algorithms. So what you do after now, right? I know I should have theoretically talked about JWT, token first before going into this. So what you will do for me is after the class, go and read about JWT token. Then come and rewatch the video. Everything will become clearer. Okay?
All right, Sasa. Are you going to put this video on YouTube today?
Oh, I need to tell IK it has to be ready today. Oh. Deadline for that tax is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, though,
Tomorrow, what time?
11 p.m. Yeah, it will be ready by latest tomorrow morning. Yeah. Because
Tomorrow
it
is too
takes
late
time.
though.
No, it takes time. How it works now, when you upload, it takes time to retrieve it from Zoom and upload it on YouTube and all. That's why. Hmm? I'll tell him to upload it as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Security algorithm dot HMARC 256. Should I use this one? Okay, I'll just use this one. Okay. Just read about all this. Okay.
So it's as
Then
if JWT in C# is so different
Node.
from Node.NET.
Yeah. Far different. I do Node now, so it's different, entirely different. Yeah.
So this thing that you just added to this security algorithm, is it that you can pick anyone, or this the right algorithm this thing to add here?
Sorry, come again. Yeah, you mean this
Yes, this there is this code that you just added to this security algorithm.
like this one?
Yes.
Yeah, you can choose any kind of algorithm you want to use. I choose this one. Yeah, you can just read up about it. If I explain it now, you might not really get it because you need to understand JWT, the content, right? At least you understood these claims, right?
Yes.
Great. So a thing that might be confusing is the keys, why you need to create the keys, why you need to create the credentials. So I just want to set everything up, right? Then when you go read up JWT token, then everything will become clearer. But if after reading up JWT token, you still don't understand, just drop it on the channel. Then we can just create a section for it in the Discord channel, maybe one day, yeah, in the daytime. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So after doing all this, the first thing now, the last thing to do is to assign all this to the token, assign all this to the JWT security token, assign the claims. Now we want to attach all this information to the token, claims, the key, the credentials, to the token. We want to assign them to the token. At least we know that this token belongs to one user. If a user login, that token that we generated belongs to that particular user, unique to that particular user. Yeah. So var token equal to new JWT JWT, I think it's, yeah, JWT security token. This is going to, what this will do is that it's going to represent the JSON web token, JSON web token, and all. But when you read about JWT token, it will become very like you would understand this flow, this whole flow. Just read of JWT token. Hmm? All right.
Right, sir.
Yeah. So first thing is to assign we need to assign the issuer. The issuer now is, there's what we call issuer and there's what we call audience, right? The issuer is the backend, right? Is the backend that is issuing this JWT to the audience, which is the front end. So we need to tell that this token, when the token is generated, it needs to know who actually generated the token. The issuer is the backend, while the audience is the front end. So how do I define the issuer and the audience? That's what I want to do now. So to do that, I can come here and define the issuer and the audience. Yeah, I can say issuer is always the backend URL. Yeah, the backend URL, which could be it could be a local host. For now, since we are using the local host, we'll make use of the local host of the backend URL, okay? Which is always and 554. You guys will pardon me, 20 minutes, because all right. It's going to be https dot slash slash, I think slash slash. The local host for is always 7,000. Yeah, 7,000. Backend URL is always 7,000. Then the audience is the front end, which when you are testing, especially those that use React to test their front end, they use React to test their front end. So whenever you run your React program, your React project, it starts with localhost 3,000. So we need to define the audience, right? The audience, which is the localhost 3,000.
Sorry, this thing we are defining here now, is it for JWT?
Yeah, for the JWT, yes.
Right.
It has a whole lot. Yeah.
It's like,
But the
how
beauty
where did
of
you
this
get
thing,
this one, all this in the one you're adding now?
sorry?
Like, where did you
No,
get
no,
those
if you
name?
run, don't worry, you see it. When we run the program, you would see that whenever you run your backend server, this is what comes in. Let me go to the launch. Let's show us the launch. It's here. No, that should be here. Yeah, it's inside the properties. So this is the launch now. Whenever you launch your program, it starts with where is that? These are the various URL it starts with. 724845084. This is the application URL for Swagger, right? So it seems they have changed it to 7,000. So this is the one for Swagger. So this is the one I'm supposed to use basically for here. This is the one I'm supposed to use for here, which is this one. While this is the front end. This is the you don't need to know much about it because you might not have an idea of front end but for those who always test their front end project, they will realize that whenever they run their React and stuff, it always uses localhost 3,000. Do you get?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
want to talk much about this so you don't get too confused, right? So you don't get too confused. But just know that the issuer is the backend URL, while the audience is the front end, the client that we are setting up here. Okay? Right?
Yes.
All right. Hele? I've said so many things today. All right. Now, next is the someone's volume, please. Someone's volume. Marianne, your volume, please. Thank you. So we need to assign the issuer JWT token. So issuer, we need to assign it to be the configuration, which will be this issuer. Then we also need to assign the audience, which will be this configuration. All right, which will be the audience. All right. Then we also need to attach the claims, which is what we did here. The claims, which is what we did here. Attach the claim, which was what we defined above. Then the credentials, right? The credentials, signing, the signing credentials, which is this that we defined here. Which is this that we defined here. The credential, this is what we defined here. Sorry, DIALS. All right, this is what we defined here. And finally, you know, every token comes with an expiration date, right?
Expiration date, like
Expiration time. Yeah.
expiration. Okay, expiration date.
Yeah,
Okay.
every token expires. Let me put it that way with something here. Issuer, this one, no. Issuer, configuration, this token. So, okay. All right. Okay. Then it comes with the expiration time, which we want to define. So if you want your token to expire in 30 seconds, we can do that here. If you want your token to expire in 1 hour, you can do that here. So how do we do that? That's what we want to do now. So for node, it has different, they use expires in node. So expires and expires, then you can call in the date time. So date time dot now dot add hours. We can add the hours, maybe we want it to expire in 1 hour. This is how we do this, and we are good to go. So this is this for the JWT, but it doesn't end here. We have only attached all this information to the token, but we need to call in a class that will generate the token entirely. All this is assigning all these claims audience to the particular security token, but it has not really generated the strings, the character of strings, which forms a token. So there is a class that is going to create that string, and they call that the JWT security token handler. That's the final step. Finally, we don't reach. Final is the JWT security token handler that creates the token of strings, right? And how do we do that? You can just say var, we can call it, since we call this token, we can just say var new token equal to new JWT security token handler dot I think there's right, yeah, right token. Yep, handler dot right token. And what token do we want to attach to this strings? Is the token that was initialized above, which is this. We are good to go. Yep, we are good to go with this. So that is the final implementation for this. But this is returning a string. So now we have defined it, we have created it, but we need to return this string. And how do we do that? Return new token. Return new token. So we have done this, and our token, I know some we have forgotten our initial login implementation. This is a private method that handles generation of token only. We can include everything here inside here. but it is going to be it's a bad practice, because if you are putting and generating token in your login implementation, you are saying like your login is doing so many things, is handling so many things, which shouldn't be so. So that's the beauty of having a private method that will take some of the load of the implementation. Do you all get that? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll soon end, like 10
So
minutes. We
it's
should
not about
more or
ending,
less.
continue, finish it.
Yeah, we'll finish it. We'll finish it. It's not going to not hard. So yeah, I'm just going to call in the generate JWT token, and I'm going to pass in the I'm going to pass in the user object. Yeah, and that's all. So after doing this now, I need to return a response. Now I've generated the token. I want to return the response. I need to return the response message for the token. I need to return the response. And how do I do that? I can just call in the return token. Let's assume your application is just your login is returning the token. Yeah, it's returning the token. You can do this, return the token, but like you can do this, return OK, then call in the token. So this is it. So by doing this, for every login, it comes only with the token, but you might not want to always return the token. You want to return the token and some other information, like maybe the email, the account type, the first name, the last name, user ID, and all. Should I show us how to do that?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. So I want to return um the token, the email, the account name, the first name, last name, user ID, and all. So how to do that is first of all, I'll create a DTO called login response, right? I don't want to, because that will require me referencing the user object, which shouldn't be so, right? So for every response message you want to create, it's always advisable to create a DTO for it, which I would show us now, which I'm going to show us now. Okay. All right. So login response DTO. Login response DTO. So that's what I want to create. Public login response DTO. All right. So inside here now is going to have we're going to have the first thing information we're going to have is the okay. We're going to have the public string. I want this response to send the token. So I'm going to create the property for it. So token get set. Then I also want it to return the email, public string email, right? Get set, right? So if I want it to return orders, I just include it in the response and do it this other way. So now I want it to just return token and email, right? Now to call that response DTO here, first of all, we do this. Sorry. First of all, we do this. We are going to do this. Return OK. Then inside there, new login response DTO, open bracket, and passing what? Token equal to the main token, comma, email equal to the user dot email. That's basically that, as straightforward as that. So assuming I want to also return the user ID, First of all, I go to my login response DTO and define it public int ID, right? Set, then call it here, comma, ID equal to user dot ID. That's just basically that. If I want to assign send in other informations, first of all, I go to my response DTO, include them here, and call it here. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks. So we are done with the login. I was supposed to cover up change password, but that one is very straightforward. Okay, there are still a
Do
lot to.
everything.
No,
We
no, no, no.
wait.
There's a class by 6:30, I'll be 7. So it might enter into the other class, which shouldn't be so. So this for login, anyways. This for login, right? This for login. What's the next thing to do now? What's the next thing to do? Oh, we need to have a class. So okay, we need to have a class because if I can now consider and realize I have overshoot my time. Okay. What do we do now? What do we do now? All right, let's see. So I have the register and login. Let's run it first. Make sure everything is working fine. I'll put the breakpoints here. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Authentication is a whole lot. So we have the register and the login. Who remember that they gives password? Shay is I forgot to know.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4.
At the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah,
Yes.
let's see now. Let's try it out. So Ede at Shay, it was Ede gift now at
Yeah.
gmail.com. Then Ede 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We
right?
are not seeing
So we are
anything.
not
No.
seeing it.
Oh, sorry. Can you see this now?
No.
This is the register. This is the login endpoint. Hmm?
Yes.
Great. So edegift at gmail.com, then password #12345. So if I click on execute, it comes here. It's going to check, goes to the first one. It's not going to, it comes to the second one now. And it's going to still loading. Oh, my system is lagging. Okay, now it checks this now. It has gotten the email for that user, which means that user exists. So this is not going to run. Then it's going to verify the the password that is sent and the one that is in the backend if it tallies. So this is what is going to happen here. So it comes here and check true, meaning the password is valid, then returns a true. Then it comes here, it generates the token. You can play around with the breakpoint to see how it works. That's another way to learn. That's another way to learn. So once we do that, we end up with this. We have the token, the email, and the ID. So if I'm sending maybe if I'm sending a wrong password, we are going to have what? Invalid email or password. Hope we are good.
Yes.
Great. We are good. All right. This is 6:13. I have like 5 more minutes. So let me quickly cover up the authorization part. Okay, let me cover up the authorization part. It's not hard at all. It is not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. So for the authorization and the setting up of the Swagger because we'll be using Swagger to test, right? So we need to set that up. We need to set that up. In case I don't finish, I don't like sharing, doing it and sharing code. It doesn't make sense. Sorry, my stuff is loading. Right, so we are going to set up the Swagger. Yeah, I'm going to set up the Swagger. I didn't know we have to waste more time here. Okay. Ooh. All right. Mm. If I now say we'll have a class tomorrow, the gift will not agree. She?
Please, let's have class, please.
Eh?
You said I will not do what, Kwa?
Let's have class.
Yeah, everyone is tired. Please, 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 please.
Nobody is
Let's.
tired though.
You know what? Don't worry, don't worry. There's something I will do. Don't worry. Let's just end the class. We'll communicate in the group today. Yeah.
Oh.
It's very important. See. Trust me. Would. This class is very critical. We can even meet by 10 tonight, safe.
So deadline is tomorrow.
Don't worry. See, authentication is very straightforward. Don't worry, don't worry. You will meet up. Don't worry. Yeah? You will meet up. No fear. Hmm?
So you know, nakagi no.
Hey, what language is that now? Don't worry. We'll meet up. I would communicate on the group. Yeah? I don't want to enter trouble. IK would sack me. Please. Okay? Hmm? All right. Okay, now let's end here. We'll communicate on the channel once I go home. Right? Nobody's saying anything. No. All right, guys. Thank you. See you all in the channel. Bye.
What time are we having the class?
10 p.m.
No problem. We are there. We are ready, sir.
10
We
p.m.
are waiting for you. So
Beat my
please, we need
chest.
to
10
watch the
p.m.
video. We need to load it today.
Yes, I would contact IK concerning that. Yeah,
So I contact him now.
I'll contact him. Don't worry. I'll just go to his DM